Okay, alles is goed.
Shouldn't be up here.
Alright.
In 3, 2, 1.
Back at it. We back at it, y'all. Hope y'all had a good time. We've been away. My homie here, by the way, he's written, produced, and directed.
And
starred in his first short film, 1 minute for the 1 minute
For the
festival.
1 minute film festival. Yeah.
Keyboard Warriors.
Keyboard Warrior.
Warrior. It's actually on our Medium page.
I wasn't gonna post it yet, but I had to
Yeah.
post it because they needed a link for the submission.
Yeah.
I thought I could just give the video, but
Nonetheless, it's dope. I saw it. It looks really.
did it make sense to you?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny. No, it makes sense.
Because I came up with the idea and I'm like, how am I gonna put this across? How am I gonna have this suspense and then boom, shock, and then like a factor.
Exactly. No, it's really dope. I just like how you switch because in the beginning you're running in. I'm not gonna give it away, but anyway,
it is only 1 minute.
Anyway, you're running into the shot. It's like this intrigue. I'm thinking, this guy's gonna kick ass. So it's kicking ass, flying armbar on the floor, finish, killing niggas with the foot, and then suddenly, randomly, that twist of like. I really like that element of the keyboard warrior thing. Because keyboard warriors are a real problem in our society, where people are eggs nowadays, or they are like sexy bot 552 has so much to say on people's shit, but they can never say it to your face.
So that was a nice dark comedic play for me on the current generation, you know. So
I like it, man.
Popped to mind.
And you're doing it.
And we're gonna do another one. We got another one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you thought of a dope one as well.
And I actually wrote another one.
Boom.
An English one.
Creativity.
But anyway.
Watch out for our short films coming out.
Yeah. You will see the page on the Black and Yellow Media page. It's going to be full there. And you'll just see a plethora of different things. We're not just podcasting on it. We're doing producing, we're directing. Like they say, you have to start small to get the bigger stuff. And
for us as actors, it's like I said to him, we need to understand all aspects of film. So like if as actors, if we can understand the editing process, the sound effects, filming, just directing, just everything, then it gives us a bigger appreciation and understanding when we do work, you know, in the future on those
it's
big
important,
projects. You know.
Anyway, climate change.
Climate change is big. There's a huge movement that has been happening. And there was a protest when last week.
Last week, I think.
I didn't even know about it.
I didn't. I realized.
I just.
It happened. It was a huge protest all over the world, the States, Australia. I think. If I'm not sure. And Greta Thunberg. Thunberg.
Greta.
She reprimanded those accused of ignoring science and being too slow in their approach to tackle climate change. I think if you saw the speech at the UN,
I didn't see the speech. I've just been seeing people posting this thing. We're gonna watch it now, yeah. Yeah, let's watch it now.
Why isn't it playing?
I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean.
Let me just start it again.
I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Nice.
Yeah. Was at the Climate Action
For
Summit.
more than 30 years, The science has been crystal clear. How dare you continue to look away and come here saying that you're doing enough when the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight? You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe.
Hi. She ain't wrong.
She's fucking passionate.
She's
huh?
not
The
wrong.
popular idea of cutting our emissions in half in 10 years only gives us a 50% chance of staying below 1.5 degrees and the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control. 50% may be acceptable to you,
50%
but
is
those
a lot,
numbers
bro.
do not include tipping points, most feedback loops, additional warming hidden by toxic air pollution, or the aspects of equity and climate justice. They also rely on my generation sucking hundreds of billions of tons of your CO2 out of the air with technologies that barely exist. So a 50% risk is simply not acceptable to us, we who have to live with the consequences. How dare you pretend that this can be solved with just business as usual and some technical solutions? With today's emissions levels, that remaining CO2 budget will be entirely gone within less than 8.5 years.
Fuck.
There will not be any solutions or plans presented in line with these figures here today, because these numbers are too uncomfortable and you are still not mature enough to tell it like it is. You are failing us, but the young people are starting to understand your betrayal. The eyes of all future generations are upon you. And if you choose to fail us, I say we will never forgive you. We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up,
So long as
and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
yeah.
She was very passionate in that speech.
She is.
Very well prepared.
Well, her parents prepared her well. I just.
How did she get to?
I'm trying to, because when I first saw it, there were many. Piers Morgan. I know Piers Morgan's like the worst reference, but he was like ticked off because he's just like, you're busy using a child for your own personal agenda as parents. And a lot of people are saying, how dare you use a child to push your agenda? Why couldn't you address the world as people? Now, yeah, there's a 50-50. But I still say, when must she address the people? You know, but that, and I think the most part of it, it's more males in the world that are more offended by it, which then brings the masculinity thing. That because a lot of people commenting on this are men. They're saying, this is stupid, how could you use this? And they're also making fun of her looks. By the way, she suffers from, I think, Asperger's, if I'm correct, from looking at this.
It's quite weird,
because technically Asperger's doesn't make you, it's sort of like an anti.
I mean, obviously, I don't think that way, but it's hard for me to think that majority of men are finding this offensive, or.
But this is the thing, though. I like I said, I haven't been looking at comments or anything, but it's like this article, misogyny, male rage, and words men use to describe Greta Thunberg. Detractors have dismissed the Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg, a Nobel Prize nominee, as mental ill, hysterical.
Oh, she a Nobel Prize nominee.
Nominee up for her, I think, basically for this. Not just she's been doing this though. I don't know how long. Like I said, she's. I don't think she's randomly popped up because her parents have written books, I think, and I think it comes off as, oh, the parents are using her to create this not a hype, but this sort of business opportunity. So a lot of people are seeing it that way. But I think then at the same time, then we're losing the message of what she's saying.
Yeah, exactly. We're picking at stupid things when there's a huge problem that we're facing. I was just listening to that and seeing all the talks and posts on social media. It's actually fucking scary and it made me shit myself to think that we are nearing,
dude,
like end of days, bro.
It's when was I thinking?
I don't think people are actually thinking about that. Like,
and the funny thing is,
we're nearing end of days or the apocalypse, or
exactly, and it's been stating it in the Bible. They say the waters are gonna rise, the ice caps are melting, they've disappeared, and to think about how big ice caps are, icebergs are. Icebergs, some are the size of, if correct me if I'm wrong, let me just Google it. Countries, they've said, where you just see the ice tip on top of the water, but underneath the water.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that analogy that they always use of you only see what you see, but underneath then it's hard work. You know. So if those melt. If all of them had to melt...
And that's just one little factor.
That's what I'm saying. All of them melt.
And that's a significant factor as well.
And it's important. Waters rise.
We can't survive in water, bro.
Things shift. Weather's changing. It's facts. We can't deny it. We see it. Weather's changing. Disasters are getting worse.
Yeah.
The earthquakes are getting stronger. The Richter scale is getting bigger. And I think we, and it's media again, we go back to this. Who has the most money to control media? And I thought about this Greta thing where people are saying all this negativity to her. It's probably somebody paying her who owns a huge factory or is a big corporation is paying people in a sense to say these things to sort of discredit what she's saying. So you're making fun of how she looks.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. How she looks, how she speaks. Somebody said she needs to go see a psychologist, or she needs a spank.
Jesus, people are deep.
It's the power of social media. People can hide far away. That's why you made your movie.
Keyboard warriors.
And that's what pisses me off. Because... on the one end, look, when I first saw the video, I had no clue who this chick is.
I still think we still have no clue.
I don't know.
Who she
and
is.
then when I watched the video, I watched it, I listened to what she's saying, and she was not lying. And I said, and it made me think, oh shit, like,
yeah, bro, fuck.
And when you see these videos of these oceans where it's just full of dirt, and you think, well, fish in the ocean is depleting.
Oh yeah.
So therefore, now we have to make fish farms to kind of cover up for that. But then why aren't we halting on fish being fished, and we're boosting the fish farming? Yeah, it might not taste the same, but at least the numbers in the ocean are not depleting.
Exactly.
So if the problem is, guys, deforestation is basically causing a big problem because now the Amazon is burning and now the CO2 or what the oxygen in the air.
What did they say? It's like 20%
Like
of our
20%
breathing air.
Our breathing air. So then now the question is, if that's the first biggest forest, the second one is Mayombe in Angola, what the hell is the Angolan forest then giving off? Understandably, you would care for number one, but if the number one forest its deforestation's at a high, it's burning, and we could lose 20% of our oxygen that we breathe.
Let's say it's 20%.
Let's say 20%.
20% out of 100%. Where's the other 80% coming from?
So then we ask ourselves, so where's the rest coming from?
Yeah.
And I think it's these things we don't actually discuss.
And it's a lot of things that we're taking for granted as well.
Exactly.
We take for granted the air we breathe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's not even I don't know. I think because we're in this bubble of sorts, because again,
we feel protected in four walls.
Exactly, because you're just like, well, we're in here podcasting.
Yeah, we got air conditioning.
I'm breathing.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. And randomly tomorrow there could be a hailstorm with hailstones the size of rocks.
Exactly.
Coming down. And I'm like, oh shit. Because now once it affects me, then I react.
Yeah.
We've got countries like that having like mudslides where the size of whole mountains that are just sliding down, killing thousands of people. So this is...
But if you look at all the media over the years, like what are we exposed to? We're exposed to terrorism, the new things of men are trash, and all this jazz, which are all important things that need to be put out there,
exactly,
and brought to our attention. But the biggest thing that needs to be brought to our attention is not being brought to our attention. We are swayed by all these other problems that they're not touching the biggest problem, and that's our survival on this planet.
Yeah. I think more than anything, it's... I'm trying to get this to... It's... Again, it goes down to media, because media loves what's happening, number one. The fact that people are so anti this child and she's facing so much abuse, okay?
I still don't understand why she's getting so much abuse.
I'm trying to find it. Well, who is she first?
It makes no sense to me.
She's a 16-year-old. She she's a prominent speaker of climate change in recent years. She rose to public attention in August 2018 when, by the age of 15, she took off time of school to demonstrate outside of parliament in her native country, Sweden, to call for more action on climate change. Her speeches aimed at world leaders have divided opinion for many, with some saying she has been used as a political pawn, which is what there's kind of a...
So that's like the underlying debate that's happening.
A psychologist said he was extremely concerned about her going the same way as child stars and that she could burn out. He said, I'm not a climate change denier. I actually think we do need to do more about saving the planet. I'm just worried about the fact that we use a kid like this who's arguably should be getting treatment because she's had anorexia. And said she's also had Asperger's and said she's battled depression. And this is a 15-year-old.
Makes you wonder what type of household she's been brought up in.
Now this is what I'm critiquing. The same thing. And now the criticism is not made much for her, but her parents and the climate change activists who use her shamelessly and think that the left can be somewhat hypocritical at times. He said the children should be in school, but are instead rallying because they've been convinced the end of the world is high. The psychologist says she's now put herself at the center of worldwide either Greta phobia or Greta mania, and I don't think any 16-year-old girl should be. So it's that balance, you see. I mean, she's at 15, depression, anorexia,
that's a
Asperger's,
lot at that age.
That combination alone.
That's a lot to deal with. And you still have your growing hormones.
And those three things.
It's a complete shit show.
And
in your body.
now, obviously, with what's happening, there's a lot of anti her, and like she puts it out, it's more her parents, but I can't take it out on the parents. I'm gonna take it out on the person who I see, which is gonna be her. And Asperger's and all this give weird things to people. Not weird, wrong word, but the characteristics rather, like her twitching of her face when she speaks, the weird, the look she has. So of course,
it can make people think she's a little bit suspect or something.
It's suspect. There's something wrong. again, we lose the message of what she's saying, because I think the parents should have supported her more. They should be in the forefront with her. I don't know. It's just.
But they must be like tiger parents or something.
Look.
Their parents must be a bit loony if they educating her.
Greta's parents
this way
are
pushing
Melina
her.
and Erdmann and Svante Thunderbird, and they too are environmentally focused as their daughter. They have co-written a book alongside Greta, and their second daughter, Beta, titled "Our House is on Fire: Scenes of a Family and a Planet in a Crisis," which is due to be released in March 2020.
I mean, if you come from a family like that, you know, it's...
Look, end of the day, what's important is she's putting out a message that's very important, that we're really not giving a damn about the earth that we're living in. The waters are being polluted. Companies, factories are getting away with so much stuff. And it's just so unnecessary, because the power of money right now, and I think I've only, through my ignorance, I think, or not understanding my surroundings, the power of money from the big corporations in the world controls everything. To a point where I'd rather be rich and happy, and I don't give a damn where my products, chemicals are being dumped, or if I'm polluting the air. China doesn't give a damn.
There's that saying, out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
That's basically
China on one end is just, and she has a point where she says you're just putting up all these technical programs or things that can only fix this for like 8 years, because you just want to show, we've built this huge fan, which in China I think they're going to do. These huge like aircon type of fans that are going to push the pollution that's in the air. But where are you pushing it to?
Exactly.
Aren't you sucking it? Wouldn't it make more sense to suck it in?
Filter it, convert it
some way.
I'm sure there's a way to do that.
I'm sure. And it's a problem, because here's the reality: supply and demand of the world.
Because then if they say they push that air to Russia, then Russia needs to outsource those fans, and then Russia's going to push it there to another country. Then that country is going to have to go to China and buy those fans.
So, end of the day, for me, I don't know. There's a huge demand from the world with beef, with meat, and the one idea of a vegan. Shout out to the vegans. I don't care. I eat meat. They saying we must stop eating beef because this will lessen the carbon and the farming of beef cattle, which will then stop the forestation, so where the cattle roam.
But now there's Steven Crowder is another guy on YouTube. He talks about the implications of people going vegan and how it's going to have a bad and negative impact on our land. And he made such a good point. I can't remember it. I remember because Mol was watching it. I just heard it briefly and I saved it. I forgot to watch it, but he made some valid points on how going completely vegan is also going to have negative impacts on the earth.
I think I don't know. It's as if we're out of ideas. And we're going back to the food source as the one problem, where
not the major problem.
Meat eating has been something. Guys, the population's increasing.
Population's increasing.
People are having sex. They're having babies.
And the demand is a lot higher as well.
Exactly.
If you look at because remember, there's also, everyone's a foodie on social media.
Yeah.
And now you got all these food channels. Exactly. And then you have people eating copious amounts of food, doing ASMR as well. Now think about that overconsumption. Like, how fast do you have to produce in order to feed such a high demand?
hence the hormones.
Humans
hence
are gluttonous.
the hormones being put in the food to make it grow faster.
Yeah.
A calf takes what, plus minus.
Like, I don't have a problem with the meat being injected because it's supplying a high demand.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not great for the body, but I rather eat that than eat the plants of the earth, and it's going to take a while for plants to grow. Remember, it takes a lot longer for plants to grow than
Look, it's a full
But then
calf is
again,
about
that's
8.
another
A full calf
debate.
is about 8 years. A cow's calf 8 years.
8
So they've
years.
cut it down to 3 by using the hormones.
Boom.
3 or 2. I'm sure.
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could do the same with plants and.
Yeah, isn't what's it Monsanto?
But then the vegans are gonna go fucking crazy because now you.
Monsanto, right? What's it? The people that are the Monsanto is creating these pesticides in the food, and what's it called? When you genetically GMO, yeah.
Genetically modified.
Yeah, and that's Monsanto's been doing it.
Yeah, they've been doing that. Yeah.
And if you ask yourself, how do I then supply such a high demand? That's why they're saying milk. People are creating fake milk. They're putting in powder. Because when you think about it technically, you ask yourself, okay, if, for argument's sake, 5 million people drink milk, maybe I'm just even that's too low, but let's just say 10 million people drink milk.
Even so, 5 million's a lot of people, bro.
10 million people drink milk. How many dairy farms are there to supply 10 million people?
And say they drink that milk. Say they drink 250 mils a day.
A day. And
Jeez.
and remember, there's an expiry date in the
As
shop.
well, yeah.
And I'm not even counting the expiry date in your fridge in the shop.
Let's say the milk's organic and it's fresh.
Exactly.
And that expires in a day.
And that's raw. So raw milk, that's a day. You have to consume that today.
Yeah.
Shop milk, it's pumped and stuff, so obviously it's pasteurized.
It lasts for like a month.
Lasts like a month.
Because if you think about it, that milk that's on the shelf in the stores, that sits there until it's sold.
Until it's sold. Technically.
Yeah. We don't know if they're changing the expiry dates on there. We don't know that. But the minute we open it, then it lasts for like a week or
yeah. I think they remove the stuff. The raw run stores, your Pick and Pays, Woolworths, they
get rid of the old.
I don't know where
the vegetables you can.
The question is, I've always wanted to ask. There was this video out in America. This guy who always goes out to your Walmarts at the back, and the big, huge containers are full of food being thrown away that's past its date. And he's at the back, and he's like, "Look at this, fresh milk, and all of this could be packaged in some form or way and given to the homeless." So the question is, this stuff's probably taken out and sent to factories where they process it and turn it into maybe compost or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've always wondered.
So where does the food, and in our case, where does the food that's passed? And yeah, you can probably say you mustn't be giving old food to people. No, this is still edible.
Yeah,
the date says past. You can still consume it, but I think the law states you can't sell something if it's past due date.
Yeah. Just so that companies don't get sued.
Yeah, you're sticking to. So the question then is, where does this food go?
Yeah.
Are you giving this food off to the homeless people?
Clearly it's not, because they're starving and digging in bins.
Exactly. And somebody said like. I don't know if it's in the UK or America. This guy was like, "Bro, I can live on the street. I can have a meal he says he can have 3, 4, 5, 7 meals a day.
Yeah.
From the trash, because people throw away so much good food.
Oh,
that's not bad. It's just you are used to saying, because you have access to buying new food. So it's just like, this is off. How's it off? And now you're sitting there, does it smell off? No, it smells off. I don't think it smells off. Let's just throw it away. Yeah,
because you look at the dates and then you've already made that call in your mind.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get food poisoning. No, but generally you get food poisoning from the restaurant because you eat the food and you're throwing away really good food. I just think, like going back to the point, corporation, money, and law, these two are such a huge problem in society because they're just creating this thing of saying, well, it's like government says you can't live off the grid because now I can't tax you. So if I have a Tesla battery, if I have my own supply of water, if I'm good.
Yeah.
Now the government says, well, you can't because you have to stay in the population. You need us. But why I would think government would want to create people who want to live off the grid, who want to be able to be self-sustainable, who want to be able to grow their own food, create. And I think we're good enough to supply our country. Our food security in our country is quite good because, the Boer Nation, they've perfected farming. And I think right now the emerging black farmers are coming through also as South Africans. And as a whole, our food security is okay at the moment. But I think it should be more perfect. I mean, what Holland is doing, Amsterdam, what Holland is doing in terms of agriculture, these guys are flipping growing food in pipes, and they're supplying they're number one in the world for supplying agriculture.
Jeez.
But using so much less water. So why aren't we so technically advanced? Understandably, and I had this argument now with the thing of the fourth industrial revolution. Somebody's, the fourth industrial revolution, it's ready, we're ready for it. And I said, okay, please explain to me the 4 levels. He didn't know 1, 2, and 3. He understood 3, of course. 1, obviously, is steam and water. So obviously, steam, true. Now, obviously, the X6. 2 is the electricity. Electricity comes to play. So now, obviously, manufacturing is better, excess. The third one, obviously, now is nuclear and biotechnology. We have 1 nuclear power station in the whole country. 1.
Yeah.
So, guys, number 3 is biotechnology. Okay, what technologies have we used and have we opened up the markets to have enough people open up companies to do enough research in tech, in development of what nuclear power can do? Hence, at the time, Jacob Zuma wanted to build another power station by Russia in the country. I'm not supporting Jacob Zuma, but I'm just saying he wanted to bring in more power supply in the country. France has a hell of a lot of nuclear power stations. I think they have like 10, if I'm correct. So, understandably now, the fighters of environment are saying, no, nuclear is bad. Fine. So the reality is then we're still in the 3rd industrial revolution, but we're pushing the 4th industrial revolution, which is the internet. So if you're pushing the internet, in townships, there's no fiber. So,
none.
And the cost of fiber is a lot. Shout out to Rain, they're doing a good job. At least the supply of it is cheaper. It's not the Rain, it's not fiber though, it's just normal internet. Because in essence, if you think about it,
it's
it's mobile, mobile. You get more out of it versus I don't have a fiber line running in Google Earth, so what the hell am I gonna do?
Yeah. And you're not being raped by Vodacom, MTN.
Exactly. So you ask yourself, how then do we balance this thing to say 4th industrial revolution? Somebody mentioned, I think a government official mentioned, we can Skype, we can video call, and it's just like, that's not 4IR. 4IR, utilizing as a government, would be if a teacher is teaching 10,000 students via Skype. That is 4IR.
Yeah.
Skype has existed for a long time. If I create something to teach, to have more reach.
Yeah.
So you're utilizing technologies such as the internet to have more reach for more people. If I randomly walked into a government official office and I gave them a laptop and I said, okay, give me an understanding of 4IR, access the internet and show me how you could access people. Maybe I'm judging too quick, but I don't think a lot of people will be able to. So how do you push this idea if we haven't even understood fully? We understand 3rd industrial revolution. We haven't just expanded on it enough.
Yeah.
We're trying to just keep up with the world, which then goes back to the point of saying with farming, with all this stuff, with nature, we haven't expanded enough in understanding we need to produce clean air. We need to not produce clean air, but we need to produce clean food, clean eating, healthy living, and teaching these ideals. Greta took her time and took time off school because she sacrificed, like many of us and many leaders have sacrificed their own lives for a greater cause. And maybe it's so, unfortunately, now she's taking so much slack for her parents. And it's a good time, I think, for parents to step in and sort of protect their daughter, because to suffer depression, Asperger's,
They have to step in.
and anorexia, it's such a combination. So I think they need to step in a bit. Just protect her.
Yeah,
she said what she needed to say. I take her away from the internet, because that's just gonna, I think it's just gonna be so many trigger points.
Yeah, youths are already committing suicide
Exactly.
because of.
So
porn,
I think I think her point is valid. It's big corporations that are just creating these programs of climate battle, and meanwhile it's just something to say, well, look what we've done. We'll try and do 50% or 40%. They can do 100%, but they know they'll lose a lot of money. But that money will never shut the company down. It's just that my greed now will be suppressed. And I think it's a worldly problem. And I think it's only going to affect us if, I don't know, Table Mountain suddenly explodes and there's a volcano and Lion's Head or something. Supposedly Lion's Head was a...
It's a dormant volcano.
And that's actually flipping scary, because it's just like,
yeah, because at any time,
if it really is, because somebody said it's like it's far, it's almost like, okay,
doesn't matter how far it
is.
It takes one weird factor to just erupt.
It's like, yeah, I'm finished.
It's like, oh, holiday in Thailand, boom, tsunami.
Exactly. Yeah, that was scary. So you can imagine tsunamis.
It comes out of nowhere. We can't predict this shit except for hurricanes.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the mere fact that we can't predict it, but we can at least limit any of this happening by actually taking care of the environment. Okay, taking care of the environment is the same way taking care of your house. So you love to take care of your home, taking care of your room, clean space, because you want to be able to sit down on your couch without having to walk through paper and shit. It's the same method of nature. You want nature to be clean. You want trees to grow. You want there to be enough fish in the ocean. You want there to be a balance. So the balance in society is, there's a balance. Chinese are not hunting rhinos for their horn. So now there's a huge demand for rhino. And not even rhino
just so
meat.
that they can get fucking erections.
Exactly. And it's just
like, yo, your population is big enough.
You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I think you're fine. You guys are
I don't
good.
think you guys have a libido issue at all.
And this flipping, I don't know, ginkgo, what's it, ginseng and all this.
Yeah, ginseng, there's many other
I don't know.
other options out there.
It's that money thing also.
But we've got so many alternatives, and we do have the alternatives to combat this. It's just that companies don't want to implement this shit. They don't want to let go of greed. That's
what I'm saying.
It's an unfortunate
money. So
I don't know how we're gonna battle this, bro. It's like, because electrics. Let's just take the car for example, and there was that time where everyone's like, oh, carbon emissions from cars.
Yeah.
People need to take public transport or cycle or walk. Oh, okay, cool. But then we can also replace cars with battery-powered cars.
Exactly.
But now it's
Tesla.
There's not enough battery-powered cars being implemented. If they are implemented, they're hella expensive.
All the industry is screwed.
So the companies that have implemented this eco-friendlier side to their company, they pump the prices up so that you can't afford it.
Exactly. Imagine a 20,000 rand car that runs off electricity. That demolishes, literally, it demolishes
the petrol industry.
It demolishes UAE, it demolishes all the oil-rich nations. Hence, I'm saying, power is in the money. Yeah. When you think about it logically, this can save a lot of things if we have electric cars.
It's going to take someone as rich as Jeff Bezos to make a difference. We need someone with a good heart and mind.
I think they'll kill him.
Yeah.
I think they would kill him.
Did you see that shit Jeff Bezos was getting up to about cutting cutting his staff's or people in his company's medical aid or something. Just
What?
check it. Yeah.
What the hell for?
Yeah. Jeff Bezos is turning into an evil, money-hungry monster now.
Well, after the divorce, now he wants to make up for the money. Like, what the hell?
How much did his wife take again? She took
I don't know, 40 billion or
4
something?
billion.
40. ne?
40.
Like, I think.
40 billion. That woman can.
Look,
She can
this guy's
take
net worth is 107 billion USD.
Now you got 2 billionaires. Him and his ex-wife. They can make a huge impact in this whole
They could
climate
literally
change.
save,
They can save the world.
in a sense, they could save the whole of Africa if they wanted to. And
Well,
they'll
they
still
just
have
to
change.
do that. Yeah.
And they'll still have change.
Bro, they'll profit off of saving Africa.
Cutting health benefits.
Yeah. There.
Why?
This guy wants to make back his 40 billion that he lost to his ex-wife.
Like, but why? This doesn't make sense. It's like, what?
Like, how much more money do you want, bro? Your company is already... He's already made back that 40 billion that he gave to his wife probably in like 2 months.
Of course, like what I say.
The company is expanding even more.
He's cutting health benefits for part-time workers at Whole Foods. The move will leave 1,900 people without health insurance. The cuts don't affect full-time employees. That is a subscribe. But will hurt those who work around 20 hours a week. One employee said, I'm in shock. I've worked here 15 years. This is why I keep my job, because of my benefits. The Bezos-owned company said I was cutting benefits to better the needs of our business and create more equitable and efficient scheduling model. The decision provoked outrage and discussed on Twitter. Senator Bernie Sanders called Bezos out for his greed. Jeff Bezos is worth $110 billion. Damn it. Amazon pays $0 in federal income taxes. Yet Bezos just cut healthcare for 2,000 part-time homes.
0 on tax.
That is what unfettered greed looks like. We're going to make the wealthy pay their fair share, and guarantee healthcare. Even after his divorce, Bezos is worth $114 billion. Even after
divorce, he's still the richest man in the world.
So he could give each of those workers, even those 1,900 workers,
come on,
$500,000 and still have $113 billion.
At what point do you...
Damn it, dude.
Like how... I guess it's hard for me to say because I'm not a billionaire. But how do you get to that level where you are that stinking rich and still want to make more money and cut people's health benefits so that you can pocket more money?
I don't know. I think someone put it. I don't know who it was. He said it just becomes like a bite in the person's head.
Like an adrenaline rush. Or
yeah,
something.
it's like that.
An addiction.
It's like, I got it. I'm making more money.
I guess it's a high. Eh?
It's a high.
And I'm sure he's probably snorting cocaine and shit. And he's like,
I don't know. He works out a lot though.
I mean, because I just watched the Wolf of Wall Street again the other weekend, and I was just like, yo, these guys were operating on another level on all the drugs, bro. Like, started off with cocaine, and then it's just like everything.
And when you think about it now,
pumped.
What are they on now? You know, what are those guys on when the Wall Street collapsed?
Yeah.
It
was it ketamine? No, it wasn't ketamine.
They probably won everything. I'm sure they were looking at everything. Bro, you selling and you're winning and you're just making ridiculous amounts of money, and your care in the world is just gone. Hence God himself loathed and hated the taxman. I mean, Jesus himself loathed the taxman. And there's a reason for that. And it's clear. Guys, the greed is just exceeding and it's getting bigger and bigger. And the gap is getting wider and wider. And people don't get, people think, oh, why should the rich give up everything? And the point is, have the rich, because let's be real, corporations don't play fair. Corporations 100%. Don't play fair for the smaller companies. So if you've created a niche in the market, they'll find a way to eliminate that niche so you don't take away from them. If they own, let's for argument's sake, say 60% of the market, come on, you're screwed. If you're playing, I don't know, next to them and you're good, you'll survive. But the gap is getting wider. The little crumbs left, people are fighting over it because now there's crumbs left, and the rich, super rich, are just watching and saying, well, we've got the market, we've got everything we need, we're good. You need us. These corporations are in government, hence government, they lobbyists, they lobby rules, they lobby laws that suit them. Hence the red tape in our country for business is so tough because the top companies in tech and all this stuff control and have lobbied for laws not to change because it suits them. It's facts, guys. You can see it with yourself. How many other companies do you know supply, if you look at private medical care, there's only a handful. One can easily shut down somebody else's business opportunity because if I realize Jeff's medical supplies or Jeff medical care, Medicare is coming, I'm like, you're coming into the market, so I'm going to try and dominate and cut you off in some form or way, maybe unfair practices or bad medical practices in your hospital and cut you off. It's greed, and it all starts with greed, man. So, I don't know, man.
I mean, what is the... There is so much that we as the public can do, right? There's many things, and small things, everything has a significant impact, no matter how small or how big. But it still comes down to the superpowers in charge that control the major significance in climate change. Because as much as we do as the public, there's only so much we can do. And now, like, shout out to Greta being this youthful woman who is 16. Who's talking on our behalf. And it's a good thing for these adults sitting on these panels to see a youth and hearing it from a youth.
Exactly.
But how much talking can we do? You know, it's
the problem is, again, this looks great. It gets people talking. And the reality is, even with the climate change fight, there's people making billions off that. And you sometimes you'll be surprised, not surprised, that it's actually the companies themselves, the corporations, who are just playing both sides. They're saying, well, we're trying our best, and then they're also creating on the other side, we need to fight climate change. And it's just, I'm making money off books, I'm making money off programs to create... what do you say, prototypes or whatever. So in essence, it's gonna get, fortunately, it's gonna get down to the revolution type of tactic.
That's what I was
the French Revolution became the French Revolution because people were tired, bro. It was slitting people's throats.
Because I feel like we edging towards that point because we have the power of social media and we're voicing and people are voicing on our behalves, but how much of that voicing is going to have an impact, because we can just be talking and we can go for years down the line until we hit the apocalypse.
I think also it's putting this whole idea, if somebody speaks out and they become the face of the idea, the face of the working out the problem. Like now, Greta is the face of climate change in terms of fighting it, right? So everything is laid on her. So even if she says something, even those who are with her might say, oh, you're saying something wrong, or because now it's about who's taking the lead in it. When no one takes the lead, the question is, why isn't anybody saying anything? When somebody takes the lead, then that person gets judged, their personal life gets judged. So I truly believe this has to be something in unison. It has to be a collective. It has to be a collective of 100, 1,000 people know, and it's a powerhouse of people saying, well, We're tired of this. We're tired of the inequality. We're tired of us can't even run proper structured businesses because the markets are closed off. The market share in these markets is totally a monopoly. We're tired of it. It's like we in 2019, but we only have one electrical supply in the whole country. Eskom is supplying electricity. That's it. How is it we don't even have competition? Because competition creates people to actually do something. No one's competing with these companies. No one's competing with SAA. No one's competing with structured businesses. So in marketing, there's competition. In all this stuff, there's competition, right? Because now, obviously, advertising is very... we are 10 years behind, if I would think, because our marketing ourselves is very different. We're different. We have our different demographics. We've got the lower pyramid of the poor people, but there's free TV, so you can still you can advertise to them, but what you advertise needs to, in a sense, relate to them.
Yeah.
And it's that relate part that I truly think is a problem with a lot of people. So there's money to be made, but this money is being made in such a way that it's neglecting us. It's neglecting people who just want to wake up, do what they want to do, work on their passion, but you're being blocked out by the big guys because they have the money.
Yeah.
And thankfully, at the same time, social media now and the fourth industrial revolution shows you now, I don't need to be in a block of a radio station to have something. I can have a podcast where I'm taking away. It's a long format of talking and conversation, and you can understand what's being spoken about instead of me being interviewed for 15 minutes and you only hear one part, and now you've got this 5 ideas of what I actually mean.
Yeah.
So, higher powers, bro, it's going to take a long time, but I truly believe it should be whoever's going to be a president, whoever's going to be in power, he's the person and his team. Not just him, it should be him and his cabinet should fight it together. Yeah. Because, come on, they get to the people under you, you're screwed. And we've seen it happen even in our country. So,
there's just fucking too many players, and the players at the big end of the table, man, those are the ones that
do not want to share.
Yeah.
They just want to take. And when they take with not caring, with like, screw this is mine. I'm gonna take this shit. There's nothing you can do about it.
And they have a hand in the government's, like.
Of course, government needs the donors. It's the donors that come.
And if they don't do what they want to say, then they don't get that donation.
You don't get the donation. It's like if I'm a medical company, a pharmaceutical company, I'm gonna give you 200 million rand. Yeah, for a donation. Yeah, cool, but we'll talk later what I want.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, what I want is I don't want you to amend this rule in the supplying of certain medicines. I want to supply it. I want to supply the whole country. Cool. Maybe that's like a 1.5 billion rand contract. So all these things are all money-based. Hence, if we complain, what do I bring to the table for the government to change?
Yeah.
Just complaints. Whereas if I'm worth 5 billion, if I say there's a problem, you're going to listen to me. I've got 5 billion.
I'm sure if Jeff Bezos was doing that speech instead of Greta,
dude,
damn.
They will be like, geez, yes, Jeff, you're right. Yeah. They will support him 100%.
Yeah.
But because it's a little 15-year-old who like, oh, you're just coming from your little town in Sweden. You don't know anything about the world. You haven't even experienced the world. What are you talking about? What you don't realize is she's speaking for her grandkids, because her grandkids are going to be the people being affected by this.
Yeah.
They might not even exist.
But those guys don't see any coin behind her. They don't. She's got no money to back her up. So
exactly.
They're not gonna.
Of course.
Gonna budge.
Exactly. If I come there and say I've got a solution though, that'll make sure big corporate does not lose money. Big corporate's gonna come to my office.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just how the world works, guys. Unfortunately.
It's a fucking sad reality, man.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, shit, how much power do we have actually as your normal citizen? Hence, people don't want to vote. Hence, people feel like, screw this shit. Look, there's no point. Yeah, because it's like, I've spoken, but nothing's happened.
Yeah, because like the way we're looking at it now, we go in deeper and deeper.
Exactly, and it's just
And the more we're diving into this convo, I'm just like feeling more and more powerless.
There's so many layers, and it's just like you think you have an opportunity to change something, and that person you look as a person of hope to change, you find out that person himself has something, and because belonging to some corporation, or it's like, oh crap,
Yeah,
he's probably, that's why maybe he took this turn to say such or to support this movement, because some big corporation supports this movement and they need a face behind it.
exactly.
So unfortunately, it's all about who you have on your side.
How much money you have.
And it's true, the lobbyist who's going to lobby for you, for the laws. So the people need to, if the whole world of normal citizens would give $1 to one person to lead them, PayPal me $1. I want to be the new world leader. I represent the people. $1.
Yo, Greta needs to do that.
I just need $1.
If she's gonna lead us, then
I just need $1 from maybe 1 billion people.
Yeah.
From 1 billion people, or maybe $5. Let's make it $5 because you need some.
$5 is nothing. It's under 100 rand
Exactly.
for us.
Give me $5. I want to lead the nation. Would they? Now the question: would you give $5? Because once you want to give money, what are you going to start questioning? You're going to first start questioning: do I relate to this idea? In the beginning, you were like, "Yes, Greta, go." Then now, when she says, "Can I have $5 so I can push this cause?" Now you're gonna say, $5 for like.
Yeah, it's like.
But
now
she
you
needs to
wanna-
go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love these people. She needs to go to school. I'm not giving you $5.
Or people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's another money-making scam."
Exactly. So that's how I'm saying the world is just like this. People are not
no
on the same
win,
page.
bruh.
You're not on the same page, and I don't know, man. But end of the day,
It's gonna go down to damn French Revolution.
it's
bruh.
gonna go down to. I truly believe it's gonna go down to a revolution, and people are gonna be like.
But that's only gonna happen when the climate really hits
really mad. Armageddon,
fucking-
bro. Where it's literally like, what's it?
Mad Max, bro.
Mad flipping.
It's literally
mad.
gonna go to Mad Max.
You notice all these movies are gonna become true. Like,
Yeah,
what's it?
like-
Back to
like-
the Future.
Like Back to the Future, even Star Wars back in the not Star Wars, Star Trek in the black and white days when they were using iPads and
Yes, exactly.
shit. Boom! We're using iPads.
I promise you, things. Mad Max, guys. If you haven't watched Mad Max, watch Mel Gibson, right?
Mel Gibson, the
Mel
original Mad
Gibson,
Max.
Original Mad Max. Watch the original Mad Max.
But if you don't have time for that and you watch the new one,
It's still
there's
pretty much.
that scene in the new one where the villagers come to that gathering and then the guy that's running the village opens up that pipe so they can have water for
Yes,
like a,
yes, yes.
a cup and everyone just
Exactly.
runs for water.
Now think
And then
about
he
it.
closes that shit for another week.
Exactly. You demand. That's corporation. Now that scene in itself is
Yeah.
a representation of corporations. I'm trying to limit as much as possible. High demand for this. Limit the supply. I could supply a hell of a lot, but I'm going to limit it to a certain degree because I'm going to wait for you to gain money or gain whatever bartering item you're going to give me. Now I'm talking about Armageddon time. Bartering idea you have, take that. I'm going to give you a supply of water, give you a supply of something. It's a fight to control the market. It's a fight to have the number one position in anything. And once you have the number one position, you control the supply. And it's sad because those who really need the supply of it are not getting it because, well, you didn't lobby my law. You didn't want to help me, so I'm not going to supply. I'm going to sleep well at night. I don't even know how one sleeps well at night.
Probably taking,
And maybe I'm
taking
saying
all
this
those
from
big
this
pharma pills, bro.
Maybe I'm saying this shit from a position of not having billions or millions. If I had the billions, I would be on a yacht.
If I had the billions and I know I was screwing over the world,
These are two things. I don't know how I would live myself.
how would you?
And I know, and I'm not in my bubble that I'm blocked away from everything, because I'm in America, land of the great, land of opportunity.
And you're exposed to the shit on social media. It's
You see?
unavoidable.
Land of opportunity. So everybody's getting at it in America. So I'm good. If I'm a billionaire and I'm worth $110 billion and I'm in South Africa, that's a different story. Because, yeah, people are getting at it, but employment is at like 25, almost 50%. People are hungry. The gap between the rich and the poor is hugely wide. The government's not supplying enough to the people. People are tired. There's strikes every day. People are stoning cars. The crime rate is at its highest. Do I sit and watch? And then say, well, through any crisis, there's always opportunity. So the opportunity to help, or the opportunity to say, let me supply a security company to make money off this because people want more security for their companies or for their businesses or for their houses because crime is high. Or do I supply enough police training, or do I say, let's open up another academy for schools, for police force to increase the number of police on the street. Let's add rotational systems of police so they don't stay too long in one precinct, so they don't create corruption links with whoever's there. So there's that balance. These things can help. Patrice is doing good. He's supplying a lot, but at the same time, there's motives of questioning the global one concept he had where they made a lot of money there. And then you say to yourself, he worked hard for his money, he built his company. Who the hell am I to tell him how to spend your money?
Yeah, that's the other side of the coin.
And people forget, this is why government is in place. Government shouldn't be sitting next to companies and saying, okay, I'll do what you want. Government should be in the middle saying, I'm governing and helping the people. I'm fighting for the people, saying, you as a company, what are you giving my people? It's like in Russia. Putin does a hell of a job in his own country in terms of making sure certain structures, no, it's not perfect. I'm sure they're going through hell there also, but there's that level of saying, I'm holding companies accountable. Like that video of them going to the factories where they were closing down the factory and said, no one's closing down the factories. 5,000 people are going to lose jobs. We're reopening these factories as in today.
Yeah.
So that's the type of leadership, that's the type of structure. And even if somebody says, I can't, there's no money, we'll make a plan to make sure this company runs.
There's always a way to make money.
We'll make sure this company is up and running. So that's what I'm saying. It's fixing the middleman, which is the government. And that's our biggest problem right now. In our country, in our context. And in America, of course, because we've got Donald Trump. And supposedly so, there's a lot of things he's done in terms of employment. And I think there's this argument in terms of the Mexicans. There is a valid point because it undercuts the lowest work denomination of workers in the country, in America, are the minorities, the blacks, black people. So once you bring in illegals, people with no proper papers, the companies then take those people and then they undercut those who have unions, who are structured. Because now here comes somebody who's not part of a union, who doesn't have papers. I can pay this guy 10 Rand an hour. I'm fine, or even 5 cents an hour, it doesn't matter. He's not going to go to the authorities. So now it's undercut the lower level. And this is the same thing happening here to a degree. People must understand what it means when somebody doesn't have proper structured papers in a country. You undercutting those who are already fighting for crumbs at the lower levels. Fact remains, every restaurant now, majority of the time, it's foreign nationals.
Oh, yeah.
Now you've undercut the lowest jobs. Now people are saying, no, but South Africans don't like taking the menial jobs. No, you're rather taking foreign nationals who don't have papers, who don't power, and you're abusing them, paying them peanuts, knowing well enough they're not going to run and complain about it because they could get caught out, they could get deported.
100%.
So there's that balance of there's an undercut, and at the same time there's people employing cheap labor.
Yeah.
And this is where government comes in. Before it gets to the point where people take the law into their own hands and xenophobic attacks that happen and all this stuff, government comes into play and says we need to eliminate and create jobs. Open up the business world. Because if small businesses are being supported, they create more jobs.
Exactly.
But yeah, we hold it there.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, guys, you can just...
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much as civilians we can do to impact climate change.
We need to think together. I think the start would be thinking together, I think.
Yeah.
And then we start from there because I don't have the answers.
I mean, you can use as little straws as you want, but that's not enough.
It's not. I think
Going vegan's not enough.
Yeah, it's not. We need to be on one. We need to be on one page.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, stay blessed, stay peace.
Sorry to end off on this depressing note as well. It's like fucking end of days is coming, and we haven't come up with a solution really, but we know the solution. We know the solution.
Yeah, we're just fighting each other. That's the problem. I think it's we're fighting to be the person with the solution. And that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, okay, your solution, let's sit down, let's work on it, let's put in more solutions, put more ideas in the basket, and let's work together. But yeah, guys.
United.
Peace out.
So,
shut your mouth.
Governments and big corporations, shut your mouth.
And while you're at it, support our podcast, guys, while you're shutting your mouth, corper.
Alright, we out.